Hi, and welcome to Ocean and Me channel. So I'm gonna play a small little clip of what I caught from the chieftess, the light body chieftess today. It's very small, it's not even all that big. Um I might have to put it in two parts. YouTube's getting very fussy about a lot of things. Even like they even putting copyrights, even though you haven't added music or nothing, this stuff is really quite weird. But Um, the chiefess, or I don't know her other name, the light body chiefess was talking to her daughter about home birth. Now, she gets a little bit angst when people enters into her life, which is a bit funny. I don't know. She doesn't like to be criticized. Okay, that's what I'm learning. Anyway, me and another channel holder was in her live and she was there calling people trolls and all sorts. So this is from that same live, which I'm gonna chop up. I'm putting this one on first and I'm gonna put up a second one after. Probably a little more edited, whatever. And she has a lot of angst, but like I said to her, people don't know who she is. The only link people know her through is because of the carbonation link, her and Source Empire. I can't remember. I don't know their real names, whatever. Yeah. So they're getting angst because they're saying that the channel holders or YouTubers are watching them. Well, you're putting your stuff up on IG. You are showing yourself on IG, which is similar to showing yourself on YouTube. So if we are talking about you, you shouldn't have an issue with it. Her daughter called us trolls and she called us trolls. I had to go in the chat. You will see as the videos, as I get some of the video, I don't even know whether it shows up on the live that she saved. I literally had to talk to her. So I'm thinking, why are you getting upset after you lot want to be seen? If you don't want to be seen, you won't put yourself on social media, right? Then she's saying, "Oh, people want to know our business," because I didn't know she was Guyanese. I didn't know she was Guyanese. People kept saying she's Trinidadian. She's actually Guyanese. Um, so her and her daughter was talking about home birth, which I think is a good thing because they're in Africa. So obviously, right, they are looking at natural birth and stuff like that. So there are certain stuff I'll say, okay, I get it. You're actually living a natural life. I don't see why you should get your angst up when people come into your life and they capture what you're doing to take to people. If people critique you, it's either because of what they heard or whatever. So it's left for you to disperse the idea or whatever. The first video I got of her was her asking, begging, was it, well, is that begging? Was it, would I call it begging? Begging to get funds so they can go back to America from Uganda. But a whole heap of them went there through her cousin. Hold on, my excuse me. Hold on, I'm coming. I'll come back. I come back. I have to cut that big bit out, but it's okay. So, so she was asking her audience for money, right, or subs or followers and all that, but she doesn't like to be critiqued. Now I know Cola James to cover her because Cola James knows a lot about them. I'm gonna try and get Cola to come on my panel because she knows a lot about them. She knows more about them than I do, right? I just know bits and pieces about them, being that how they was in contact with nature nut and stuff like that. But I don't want to talk about the minute stuff. I actually want to see what the other tribes are doing. I actually have an interest in seeing whether they are actually pursuing what they want to pursue, where they want to do live in natural spaces, do natural living, do eco-friendly spaces. Now people were saying to her about braiding hair and stuff in Uganda. Now, as spoken about before, I know Uganda has a multitude of materials and stuff like that. She talks about the motherland fondly, which is great, which is good and everything. It's just that how when people term themselves as African Americans, you don't have to term yourself African Americans because you're already in the land of supposedly the originally where you come from. So to me, that's like you're still thinking in a bab uh in a Babylon mindset. So when she's talking, it's like I'm like, wow, like uh there's no orange juice. Yeah, so so when she's talking sometime, I feel that she's kinda gets a little bit angst. It's like it comes as though I had to introduce myself so that I can grab her her bits of what she's doing, which is ridiculous. I shouldn't have to do that. I should be able to go in and come out, get what I want, get whatever, and come out. Even if the audience look at you and say whatever, that's the audience opinion of you because they know of the history, which I had to explain to her. I'm going to try and get Kola to come because Kola knows a whole heap about them, a whole heap about the light body tribe. I know a lot. I know from when Velvet went with her son Ezekiel. So that's the parts I know of. So I'm going to show this small video. It's very small, but I'm going to capture another part of it because that's the live I was in before I get in a bit more deeper with her, before I get more stuff from her she because she's talking about coming back to America so that she can get money so she can form businesses in Uganda, which is all well and good. But then at the same time, right, she didn't have a game plan before she reached to Uganda. Now her daughter, who is now pregnant by a Ugandan, so it's like, it's like it's like you got to create something while you're in Africa. Even if you're not creating, you got to create something before you go to Africa. That's my understanding of going to the motherland, not just going to the motherland and thinking whatever. Because she said even when they see, like, even the fact that she spoke about the child with no hair. Now there's reasons for why the children hair is short in Uganda and certain parts of Africa because there's a lot of sexual assaults on children and they feel by cutting all their hair off, it makes them ugly and unattracted to predators. And that's one reason. But she just said, but she thinks, oh yeah, oh yeah, because like they don't know how to take care of the children's hair or whatever. It's not because of that. It's a lot more deeper than that. And I feel that she has not totally understand the liberty when you're living in Africa. You need to understand the total liberty of what's going on. That's why I always say to people, before you go to Africa, you need to get to know the people in the West first. You need to have friends from the West first before you touch down in there. Like me, I know, like I said, I know Tanzanian, Ugandans, and all that. And I know for a fact Ugandans are very friendly, they're very hospitable, and Tanzanians are very hospitable. They will give you their last if they have to. When they're feeding people, they will make sure you, the visitor, is very much taken care of. So they're very accommodating. Even Dinas Demir has also proved that when he's went to other countries. So my thinking is, does she not look at other expats before leaving Puerto Rico to go there? Now, when I don't know, when I do go live again and I do capture them again, audience, if you have an opinion, that's your opinion on them, right? We all have opinions. We have opinions. That's what makes us unique, right? We all take things in differently. So audience, right, if you think what she's doing is wrong, if you see something in the video and you can identify whatever, and I say, yeah, right, I would agree with you because even that live what I did, it was so, like, coming to the end of it, she got so long-winded. I think I literally fell asleep and I left on the live because it was just like she wasn't getting. She never gets to the point. She never gets to the point. She's like Velvet. She never gets to the point. She's so long-winded, and um, on top of it, I feel that how when you are going to another country, right, you need to have an understanding of the places where you step. It's the same thing when people come to England. When you come to England and you are of another country, they expect you to adapt to the English idolatry. Some people do it, some people don't. Some people keep their language and traditions in England. So if you're going somewhere, I would say to any American, right, it's best to know somebody in the West first, i.e., America, England, whatever, first before you touch down in another country. Some people just go there because they literally want to go there. They have a love for the country and they want to go there. There's a love. It's not a matter of going there and being an opportunist. Because the people need help where they are anyway, so they don't need you to go there to be an opportunist. And I think there's another part where she's talking about the things they eat, and I'm thinking myself now, that's like some countries they eat cockroaches and worms and stuff and bush meat and whatever, right? Um, most countries, okay, eat eat cockroaches and all this stuff. I still think she's thinking with a carnal mind. Now, Damian Marley always talk about when you're going to Africa, you never go with a carnal mind. And this is what she's going to Africa with. And she needs to drop it, I feel. But as I show the little bits what I'll capture from that live, you'll hear how sometimes a little bit ignorant they are on certain stuff. Even though they're there. I don't know how long they've been there. I'm going to ask Cola how long they've been there, because she's still ignorant in certain aspects. So please leave a comment underneath this and tell me exactly what you think of the whole situation of them being in Uganda, and what you think, especially when I put the little shorts. Please tell me what you think, because it's because you can't think like that. You can't think that like that. You have to adapt. Even I've spoken to Rastas. I've seen Rastas. I've watched Rastas in Shashamani. When they go there, they're not living lavish life. They're literally in the rural areas of Ethiopia, and they adapt. They live like the Ethiopians. They do everything like the Ethiopians. I don't see why she can't adapt herself to the situation. But she just wants to come back to America. She thinks that how it's going to be easy making money and taking it back there. When even in America, and England, there is inflation going on. So I don't know how she's going to do it. She reckons she's going to buy all these bracelets and then be able to sell them in America. I don't know. I think she's kind of living a dream in her head. I think sometimes they live in a fantasy in their head, these tribes. But I am gonna try to capture him as much as possible. And I still got to do my reaction on that Velvet one, even though it seems like she's quiet down now for some reason. But I'm gonna do my reaction on Velvet because you lot said you wanted to hear my reaction to what she was saying in that first video, even though everybody else has covered it. But yeah, so I know I've done 2 lives yesterday, today, but I'm going to play the video. Let me find it.
No. It was basically like, right now I don't want to talk to you because I'm upset that you're pregnant. So let's not even talk about that. So we never had a chance to even have this discussion at all. Home birth for the wedding. Me for sure. You're young and able body. Home for sure, exactly. Mm-hmm. Have confidence in yourself. Keep your mind positive. Mm-hmm. Yes, afterwards the mother needs no wrong to care for her. Yes, I'm grateful for you guys' healthy perspectives. I'll definitely keep that in mind. Yes. Yes, we do need more of this for sure. More support. Sure. That's good. That's great, actually. Exactly, because you especially for the young women and women who have never gave birth. True. That's true. That's so true. Yes, we need more people like us who's already experienced with having children to, be able to talk and guide those who don't have any or who is in the process of having, so we can share, how it feels to, like, you would ask me questions like, how does it feel when the baby kicks, and how does it feel when, so being here to answer those questions, the curiosity. Yes. That, so it's really exciting to share, because how it feels, and so you can kind of picture how it feels, but you really don't know how it feels. But I try my best to explain how it feels, even though I know you don't know what it feels like. But you will soon. You said it feels like intense, like cramps. And the question, are you having a baby in Africa or in America? Where would it be? I'm having it here in the motherland, of course. So the baby is African. Oh, yes. Half African, half American. That's right. The new breeds, them. Yes, I'm delivering a baby here in Africa. The mixed breed babies, them, coming to y'all from Africa. We need to have more merges like this, African American coming back home and reuniting with their original love, the original love. And they come together and create. I have heard that. The hospitals here, when you're delivering a baby, they will force that baby out of you. The doctors here are very rude. That's what we heard. Stories that they can be rude in the hospital. They would be like, come on, chop, chop. Deliver this baby. That's how the African doctors are here. So I don't know. That's a in the hospital. One. Baby moving feels like bubble guts. That's a good description. That's a good one to describe it. Having the bubble guts, the bubbly. Yes, that's a good description. Nikio. Yes, like I was talking about. Right. Hold on. Can I talk about that a little? Yes. The merging of the two. Okay, the African Americans that descended from Africa, right? And they got, of course, on slavery, all that stuff happened in America. So when you come back to America, it's like you're reuniting with your original self. So the merge of the two.
I think she's very ignorant on certain stuff, because she talk about mixed breed and all this stuff. I'm thinking to myself, how you can't, because that's because her daughter's got a Ugandan man, and she is termed American. That's termed as mixed breed. Now, like I said, she doesn't like to be criticized, but it's what comes out of her mouth. You're just thinking to yourself, do you not think what's coming out of your mouth? What you should have said is, right. Basically, it's a unity. It's a unity. That's what it is. It's a unity between what was there before and what is there now. That's simple. You don't need to say nothing else after that. Don't need to go into all this thing, because that right there shows me how her ignorance and stuff. She may wear dreads and look the part of a whatever conscious person. I know this and I know that, and you may have been around a couple rastas, but it's a unity. It's a Sankofa. You Sankofa. You look back. You went back and fetched. That's all. What's all that's about. So by you having a child in Africa, right? It's a big statement anyway. That's like when that's like when Yorubas get married to Igbos. Basically, that's what it is. Okay, so I don't understand what's the big deal behind this, right? She like when she says certain stuff, I'm a little bit blown away by her. But I said to her, right, why don't you just show your works what you're doing? Basically, right? You don't want people to critique you. You don't want people to talk about you. But when you talk sense, you talk sense. When you don't talk sense now, it's a whole nother something else. Now, she could have said, okay, right, we sang Kofod, we came back to the land, we came back, we looked back, we was it was all just like, you know, most people talk about ancestors guiding them back to the places from which they came, because she said she looks like a Ugandan. So her ancestors might have come from Uganda. That's my understanding of her. But when you're talking a certain way, you have to know how you're talking, because you are in the people's land at the end of the day, right? You are right, you are a visitor, whether your daughter is going out with one of the men from the land or not. Okay. So I kind of I see who Kola was talking about, her daughter. I do know about Adam, I think it was, who was with her at one point. But it's like she really emphasizes on some crazy stuff, and you're thinking, why are you emphasizing on it? Yes, home birth is a natural thing. My friend did it. I mean, even I literally had a home birth. It is a natural thing to have a home birth, right? Now, she's put a little bit ignorance on it where she said that they forced the baby out of her. I don't think they do that. Okay. So right there, you're putting ignorance and telling people propaganda about the place where you in. Right? Yeah, that's what I picked up from the light body chieftess. I still think she needs to work on herself, as old as she is, because she's about the same age as me. I suspect. But at the same time, you don't come on IG talking the most, because a lot of people's watching you, and it's not making what you are selling looking attractive. Like I said, there was points where she was talking sense, and there was points where she wasn't talking sense. Because like you hear her talking to me at one point, as when I was typing in the chat, and as soon as, and like I said, Cola entered, she was like, "Oh, who's this? Who's this?" And I'm thinking to myself, like, just carry on talking like you would normally talk. Because I've been in chats where like they're talking, and then it's way to you, and just carry on talking. Like Isis deity, she sees ya, she just carries on talking. She don't even bat an eyelid. This lady batters an eyelid. I'm like, wow. I yet to see how Source gets on when I go into his chat, because when they're talking, it's like they talk a lot of carbonation stuff, and I still think there is a lot of links to carbonation in certain ways as well. And however they became into what they become into, um, they said that she said that they're not part of carbonation, but its behavior speaks differently. So I am going to keep an eye on them, and I'm going to put up the shorts of these women talking, and I want you all to leave your opinion, because they don't like it when you all leave your opinion on them. But they don't talk cross then. Just show what you do. Like Mashawn's really getting into Tanzanian life from what I see. She does come on and she talk the odd BS, the odd higher self foolishness. But it's like Mashawn is changing a little bit. That's what I'm seeing in the presentation. Mashawn don't do lives like that. You know what I mean? Or maybe I missed her lives. I don't know. But it's just like, what's the purpose of you being in a country? Are you there to help them, or are you there to take from them? What are you there for? What are you there for? That's the only thing I want to ask the lady. The reason why I don't want to do it on DMs and stuff like that, I don't want to get close to them at all like that, because that's like you're forming links with a cult, which I still term them as a cult, even though they're not part of a cult. Um, I feel she needs to work on herself, and her daughter needs to work on herself, because you're always work in progress, right? So you're never there, never truly there. Now, even when you're explaining certain stuff about the place where you're at, which is Africa, right? You need to ask loads of questions when you're there, when you're with your guides or whoever. Now, the daughter's boyfriend, I think he talks English anyway, so they can ask him a whole lot of questions about a lot of stuff. But once again, it's like he's stuck in the ignorance of stuff, the ignorance, right? So she's taken her carnal mind and taking it to, well, I would say as Rastas will term it, the promised land. That's what she's done, and she needs to really sort it out. And then she's asking me, what is my YouTube channel name? I said, you know what, right? All right, I goes to her, you know what, right? You might not like what my audience have to say about you, which is true, because you lot speak very frank about what's going on, what they are doing. And like I said, they don't take criticism really well for some reason. But you show it on IG and that, right? And even though like she originally came back onto IG to beg for money so she can get back to America, when even in the comments section, they're telling her to go to the embassy, the American embassy, right? And she's like, okay. But they're telling you, what they're telling you is it makes sense. You go to the American embassy, innit? Like, that's just common sense. Whatever reasons why she doesn't want to go to the American embassy to help her to come out of Uganda so that she can go back to America, what she says term as to earn money, to go to Texas. I don't know what is the reasons behind it, but it is kind of suspect. But at the same time, like I said, I will bring the shorts to you, and you lot can put your opinion on what you think of this whole thing, because we all have an opinion. And unless she changes our opinion of her, unless she changes her opinion of her and her daughter, then we will see. But anyways, I'm gonna come off, because I thought I'd just come on and show that little bit before I start putting on the other shorts. Please have a good day and a good afternoon wherever you are.